It's your favorite rapper.
Hey.
Wassla.
Check.
Your second favorite rapper.
Wassla?
Wassla. Yeah.
Can you turn Wassla's mic up a tiny bit?
Hello.
Check.
Yeah, I talk quiet too, so.
I do too. I do too.
I'm a lot.
Zane is loud,
Zane
which is good.
Loud. Sometimes I sound like I'm
It takes a second.
And welcome to Off the Cuff with Des and Zane. I'm Zane Thomas.
And I'm Carissa Des. And we have our special guest, Wassla, over here. Also known as Steven, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Super stoked to have you. Since I've known you, I've been really excited to check out your music, check out your style, and I'm really excited to have you here and talk to you a little bit about what you're doing. So let's get into it.
Yeah, definitely. So how long have you been in the Portland music scene?
I've been up here. I'm living in Hillsboro. I've been up here like two and a half years now, I think. I'm from Klamath Falls, Oregon. That's where I really started doing everything down there. Started with poetry. One of my buddies, Derek, he kind of got me into rapping. He was rapping. And he was like, you need to try to put your poem on this beat. And I was like, I'm not a rapper. It's not happening. He's like, just try it. And I killed it. And he was just like, bro, you're a rapper now. I was
Hey.
You're a
like,
natural.
I'm not a rapper. I'm not a rapper.
You made the transition that quickly.
I'm a rapper now. So.
No. Those are always the most interesting stories. The reluctant hero, where you're just like, no, I'm not a rapper, and then just it kind of shows that you were able to put your music, you're able to take your poem, put it over a beat, and just fit it so comfortably. So you started writing poetry first?
Yeah. So I started writing poetry. I want to say I was like 14. I went to a psych ward when I was a kid because I tried to commit suicide when I was younger. I was going through a lot of things, a lot of traumas when I was young. And I found poetry in there. I think I was reading The Rose That Grew from Concrete by Tupac.
Okay.
So it inspired me to
Nice.
start writing my own poems. And from there, that's where I started writing music, yeah.
Very cool.
So what was it about poetry that was the most appealing to you?
Just the way that you could put a word and it could have several different meanings. And you could feel it, like kind of get like those goosebumps, like the hairs stand up on you know.
Mm-hmm.
So reading those types of words is what made me want to express my words. So
Yeah. So it sounds like you were able to see something in poetry, and then you wanted to give that same feeling to other people. Is that right?
yeah, exactly.
So what I guess what kind of beats are the things that you're most drawn to?
Oh man, it's all different types really. I really like guitar beats.
Yeah.
I like heavy 808 beats.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
So yeah, I kind of just bounce around between all types of sounds. I try to like be as what's the word, versatile as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that makes sense. Do you make your own beats, or do you have a friend or something?
I
that
have
makes your beats?
a couple of producers that make beats for me. Right now, I just been kind of using the internet for my beats right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get more into finding more producers and working with more people.
Nice. So you say you get them off the internet. How is there like a certain website that
They
rappers
got
go
like
to?
like beatstars.com.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've
Or
heard
just like
Yeah.
you search up a type beat, you find the producer, you go through his catalog, check it out, and then lease them from there. That's what I've been doing right now.
So
is
you
just
lease
leasing.
them, or you don't buy them?
Oh yeah, well yeah. Like you can get like unlimited lease on them. Exclusive beats. Right now, I can't really afford that in my budget,
Nobody
So
can.
I've been getting unlimited leasings and stuff like that. All my older music that I don't have on Spotify and stuff, it's all exclusive. My buddy Mike Brown Beats, he used to make all my beats. But right now I just been kind of using the internet for my beats. If there's any producers out there that want to hook me up and work with me, let me know.
Yeah. Hey.
Hit them up.
No, that's really dope.
So I know that you're indigenous. Do your roots affect your music, or do you somehow like work that into your music, your sound, or anything like that?
Just recently, I've been more inspired to start talking about my culture more. I want to say before it never really kind of didn't want to be like labeled as just an indigenous rapper. I just wanted to be a musician, but now I'm feeling like I want to put more of that into my music, kind of represent for my people, and because I think that's important, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, to have a voice, and I want to kind of be a voice for my people. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Have there been like indigenous artists that have inspired you to
Oh yeah.
Yeah, please.
Richie Ladrigal, he's put me on a show in California, June 24th to the 26th. It's a festival, Indigenous Warrior Enterprise Festival. Yeah, he really inspired me. I came across him just saying a prayer. He starts all of his lives out like starts with a prayer. And I was just like, wow, I felt him and I could feel his energy. And I started following his music and listening to things that he was talking about. And I was like, that's what it's about, So shout out Richie.
Definitely. Yeah. Is he on Instagram or Facebook or?
You can find him on Instagram. I think it's Richie Ladrigal. He's on YouTube, Facebook. You can find him under Indigenous Warrior. He goes by that name too.
Yeah.
Cool.
What are like some of like the, I guess, when you're speaking about indigenous culture and those parts of your roots, like what are the things that you talk about?
Right now I have a song that I'm working on. It's about like the missing and murdered indigenous women. That's in the process right now. I like to talk about like growing up with traumas, like dealing with alcoholism, drug addiction, things like that. And with I'm trying to learn more of my language right now, and I want to start being able to rap in my language soon. So
that would be dope.
It's a really complex like way to speak, so it's going to be challenging, but I want to be able to.
What's the language?
It's Modoc, Klamath, and Modoc.
Okay.
Yeah, and your name, like, where did that come from?
So that's a cool story. A lot of people ask me about what Wassla means.
Yeah, I was going to ask next.
And, so I guess I'll start from the beginning. They call my grandfather, he's in prison, they call him Wassla, as Squirrel. His name's Earl, and they call him Squirrel. And so Wassla means squirrel in Modoc, Klamath. So basically, before I even knew that they called my grandpa that, I was, when I was in that treatment facility, I think it was called Cedar Bow. It was like a Native American treatment facility when I was a kid. And when you were good, they let you go out on outings. So we'd go out to a sweat lodge and stuff. And we had a pipe ceremony in there. And one of the elders, he's the pipe carrier in there, he told me that my name was Wassla. And I asked him, what's that mean? He's all, it means squirrel in Klamath. And I was like, to myself, I was like, oh man, a squirrel? Why couldn't it be like a bear or something? You know what I mean? And so I was just like, I didn't know what to think about it at the time, but after I got out of treatment and stuff, I found out that they called my dad and my grandpa Squirrel. And the elder that gave me that name, he had no like relations with my family at all. Didn't know them at all.
Yeah. Wow.
So I felt like it was kind of like the spirit, like really speaking to me. So I took that name and I go by that. And then everyone started calling me Wassla in Klamath, where I'm from. So I was like, well, that's my name now.
Yeah. So. It's always cool when a name fits like that, you know, especially if I find like a rap name. Everything that I ever found, I'm just like, this feels cheesy. This feels corny. So I think it's cool that you found something that like not only did it line up with, with your family, the people who gave it to you, but people didn't have a problem calling you that.
And is that what people like your friends and family call you, or is it more just like your stage name?
Like my friends and family, they all call me Was or Wassla now. Yeah. I mean, some people still call me Steven, but it's very rare I actually be called by my actual name. It's funny.
Yeah. No, that means you made it as a rapper. So you had talked a little bit about, dealing with depression and stuff when you were younger. Is that something that you would say like shows up in your music? It's
Oh,
something that you feel
yeah.
like it's easier to communicate?
Yeah, definitely. I want to say, yeah, like I've just had a lot of, I guess, just a mental illness of like severe depression. I still deal with it today. And the only thing that really gets me out of there is focusing with music. It's the way that I could express those thoughts or feelings and things like that. So
Hmm.
definitely,
Do you still do poetry? Is that another kind of outlet
I
for
feel
you?
like I feel like my music is poetry now. When I write a song, I feel like I'm writing a poem. So I guess I'd say so. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And you had talked a little bit about like struggles in either your community or maybe even your household with like addiction and stuff like that. Is that something else you also, touch upon in your music?
Um, not recently. I feel
Sure.
like some of my older stuff, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Right now I've kind of just been expressing like more of like the inner things that are going on with me. I feel like
Yeah.
Hmm.
rather than like home stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think that all that stuff's really important to communicate. Like at some of my first songs, I definitely communicated like my struggles with addiction, but now going forward that I'm going to be making music, it's like that's a story that I told. There's more to me than that.
Hmm.
So I think it's really cool that
Yeah.
you're going forward and you're you've touched on it. Now it's time to move
Turn the
past it.
page, yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's really cool you're not living in that. I guess my next question would be do you work with other artists in like collaboration, or is that something? Are you more of like a solo, work on your solo stuff and then work on with other artists later?
I love working with other artists. I feel like the process goes by a lot faster too. Cause me, I get really complex when I'm just working on a song by myself. I'll just sit there and critique everything over and over again, and I
Mm-hmm.
never want to put the song
You want it to
out.
be perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I work with like friends or people to collaborate with, I could sit down and vibe off them, and I'll be like, "Don't you delete that verse? That
Mm-hmm.
was fire!" And they'll
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing back to me. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if I'm doing it by myself, I'll be like, "Nope, that wasn't good enough. That wasn't
Yeah.
good enough."
Yeah.
Right.
I can definitely see that. I mean, it's also nice to just write one verse. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then you don't have to write like three. Because I mean, between three verses, you're gonna find one you don't like.
You gotta get your climax, and you gotta come down. And
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah. This story has three parts.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's really cool that you kind of use that inspiration from your friends and stuff to kind of push you forward. Of let's encourage each other to keep the stuff that's good because sometimes we're just in our head too much.
hmm
Yeah, definitely. And you were talking about collaborating with people. Do you have a couple albums out now, or?
Right now I just have some singles. I've really just been dropping singles. I want to start working on a project with some of the singles I've dropped and kind of put them back on an
Put them all
album.
together into one thing.
Yeah, but yeah, just been doing this single thing. I used to drop mixtapes back in my hometown, but that's when the quality wasn't as good. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's just it's really expensive and it's a process, you know. But
So
Yeah.
it's fun though, you know.
Where do you record your music at?
Uh,
At like a studio or
yeah,
a place?
my buddy Jano Rollin, JLR Audio. He's out in Milwaukee. I've been making music with him, and he's a professional. You're the man, Jano. Shout out. Um, yeah, I've been working with him. Recently met Echo, Raven
Savage.
Fortune.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about working with him soon. Just to get the timing right and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. What makes working with somebody like the most comfortable?
Um,
Like what are the vibes you're looking for when you're working with somebody?
just somebody that knows what they're doing really and
Okay.
is not there just to push record, you know.
Sure.
Someone to catch a vibe with and understands the music. And because if I like work with somebody and they just push record and they're like, oh, they don't have no passion for what you're
Anybody can
doing
hit
with the
record.
song, yeah, then it usually every time I have like a first studio session, it's always like an awkward thing. I feel like.
Yeah.
So the second time we go in, then we get to know each other more and more, and we get a friendship going. Yeah, I've been working with Janelle for like 2 years. Every time I go over there, I feel at home, and I'm like, let's do it, let's grind, And he's really good at what he does. He puts the headphones on and just makes magic, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. And is that where you started recording, or did you start off like recording on your own? I started recording my stuff on like a little cassette
Hmm.
tape. So, so I always ask people
Funny
like, how they
story.
started.
Funny story. My buddy Derek Llewellyn, he's actually one of my brothers. I started making beats before I even started like doing
Okay.
hip hop or rapping. But I used to make it on like a little baby laptop, make beats, and I would plug in a Wii microphone to like the
Wait,
Nintendo Wii.
yeah,
Yeah.
we had a microphone.
Yeah, it would
I
plug
didn't
this.
know that.
It was like a singing karaoke microphone.
Oh, okay, wow,
It was
this is
USB, so I
baller.
plugged it into the side to see if it worked, and it was all compatible. I was like, dude, let's record. You know what I mean?
That's so
So
sick.
we started recording on a little laptop with the Wii microphone.
I love it so much.
And I think
Oh,
before that, I used to record my cousin's band. My grandma, she had like one of those old boom boxes. We'd take the tapes out and put the scotch tape over them, and record over the tape. I used to record through the old boom box, his band and stuff.
Yep, that's how I started.
yes. Oh, that's super cool. So what would you say, like, the restrictions that you had with, I guess, being able to record, like, how did that make you more creative?
It was, I guess it just gave you more drive. You're like, we're gonna make it sound crispy, either any way that we can, like.
Yeah.
So I remember putting the mattresses up,
Yeah.
everything like that, trying to get that good sound.
Yeah, Zane started in a closet, right?
Yep. I had like a little like I put pillows up in like this tiny little it was like a cubby where you would like set things.
Yep.
And it was just like I put my iPad in there and I'm just like trying to, and it was so bad, but it was like it's cool to know that you start off from a place like that, and then when you end up in a studio like you would with Echo, you really see the difference in quality, and you
Yeah.
almost are more inspired to bring it more because you're like, man, I remember when I was rapping in this
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, when you end up at a place like that, it's just inspiring just to see other people with the drive to even accomplish that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you're there and in their space, I'm just like, it's go time. It's like, this is the real deal, and we're here. We made it this far.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I guess what has been like a driving factor for you to kind of continue music? We all have a reason we start. What's your reason for continuing to go?
One of the driving factors is a couple people had told me that my music like helped save their lives. And when I first heard that, it wasn't something I really believed. And then after I heard it multiple times, that like my words like moved someone to not commit suicide,
Yeah.
I realized then I was like, this is what I was born to do. So
Yeah, that's really powerful. Not everybody can really say that because, there's music for different moods, and to have music that helps somebody when they're in that mood, that's when you need somebody. So the fact you were able to help somebody like that and you continue to help people because of that, I think that's incredibly powerful.
thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like most people, they start rapping because they either like want to get girls or they're like trying to make it,
Money.
and like get rich. Yeah. So that's really noble that's where you're coming from. Definitely.
I never really had like a drive to really like get famous for like the fame. It was more of a thing to, I want to leave something behind and be remembered,
Yeah.
so that like say if I left tomorrow, I have these songs that my friends and my family can listen to. They could hear my voice and hear my words again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big part of it for me too. Like, I don't really make money off this podcast, but I enjoy doing it. And like, also having, making a platform for other, local artists, but also like just knowing that my voice is going to be out there later for my family to listen to. Like, after I'm gone, my grandkids or great grandkids can listen to the words that I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
I think it's really cool too that like your reason for and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like your reason for making music is so that you can reach more people, not for fame, but so you can save more lives.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. And then I feel like at the same time, it saves my life back. It gives me a purpose back to be able to help somebody. Because if I didn't have the music with everything that goes on in my mind, I wouldn't have a drive to really stick around unless it was just like my family and things like that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's why I'm so passionate about it. Really,
Yeah.
is it feels like I'm helping somebody and I'm helping myself back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
It's mutually beneficial, and I think it's something that we think of it as, I can only be helping this person, or this is only helping me, and when you can really find a spot in the middle to help both, I think it's incredibly powerful.
For sure. I had asked you this earlier, but can you tell us a little bit about what your necklace means? Because I know that you carry it around with you all the time. If you feel comfortable talking
Yeah,
about it.
that's totally cool. This is a medallion that my friend Aaron Andrews, rest in peace, Aaron. His auntie made me this, so I can always keep him with me. Aaron was one of my best friends, and he got murdered. I want to say 6 years ago now in Klamath Falls.
Sorry to hear that.
And I found him in the backyard. We were at a party. Somebody had shot him,
Man, that's
and
rough.
I stayed with him. And his auntie kind of like gifted this to me to keep him with me, and to she wanted to like thank me for helping his spirit pass to the spirit world. So I carry it with me everywhere I go, and yeah,
Does it like inspire you and like in any way? Or I mean, obviously, yeah, like you keep it because but just having it with you.
Yeah.
Is it like kind of like a protection thing or anything like that?
Yeah, in a way, yeah, definitely. He was always a big person that was like, "You're gonna make it, man. You're really good. You're gonna make it." So I carry those words like really close to me. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
definitely.
I wear this, I feel like I'm honoring him in a way.
yeah. I can
That's really
definitely
cool.
I can definitely relate. I lost a friend when I was in high school to like an accident, to a car accident. And that person, we used to drive around, she was like one of my best friends. We used to drive around, listen to Atmosphere. Like that
Hmm.
was when I was first getting into hip hop. And I'd be like, oh, can I rap for you? And she'd be like, oh man, you're super good. You need to go with it. And then when I lost them, it was, it's part of it was I was doing it because I loved it, but part of it was just like, no, somebody who I loved believed in me, and if I give up, I'm almost giving up on them. So I think it's incredibly powerful that you were able to use, that loss as something to propel you forward instead of a reason to pull you back down.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, you had mentioned feeling suicidal. You just released a new music video, which is something I wanted to talk to you about,
Hmm.
because I've been dealing with I've been struggling with feelings like that recently. So it was really cool that you released that when you did, because like in the same way where you're like, hey, this saved somebody's life. Like I felt like, in a moment that I felt extremely alone, you allowed me to not feel that. So tell me a little bit about that music video, where it came from.
I watched it this morning actually.
Oh,
I was like,
really?
wow, this is deep.
Yeah,
Good though.
it's very graphic, but it has a stronger meaning behind it. So the video started with, well, the song started with one night I was feeling suicidal, and it was kind of like me talking to myself and giving me the reasons to like move forward and not go through with it. Shout out John Mayer for shooting the music video and for
He's right here.
filming Contrast. He's in here. Um, I guess I just kind of wanted to, with the video, express to other people the feelings that I felt, and like the really strong mental side of it, of like, we're gonna do this, you know what I mean? And with it all, the way the video is, how it all goes in reverse,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes the decision not to, like, it happened, and then we're like going back in time to make it not happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then tell yourself, hey, you know what I mean, let's give each other these reasons
Yeah.
not to fall through with that, you know?
Sure.
I think that's really cool that I mean, that's the hardest thing in those moments, is being able to find a reason not to. So the fact that you were not only able to find a reason not to, but you were able to provide that to other people. I think it's like I said, it's incredibly powerful. Not everybody uses their music for good. I mean, I'm sure you can think of a lot of songs where you're like, wow, that was vulgar. That didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
That was a song. Technically, there was a beat,
I mean,
but I didn't
you
connect.
you could have those funny ones, you know, but yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it has its place, but you know, there's more times that I feel sad than I feel like drinking a bunch of beer.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah.
there's I personally, you know, needed to see that when I did see it. So I do want to thank you for making that.
Thank
So
you for listening to it, and like really just I'm happy that you felt that. Hey man, I got a lot of love for you.
I appreciate you,
Like,
Blair. Appreciate you,
and
Blair.
I'm happy you're here.
Thank you, thank you. No, I'm happy you're
Me
here.
too.
Yeah, hey, I
I'm
appreciate
happy
you
you're
guys.
here.
Thank you.
Hey, I know that we've all kind of just dealt with feelings like that. So, you know, the reasons why we stay and the things that help us stay, like, and the ability to bring that to other people, I think is, you know, it's hard enough to convince yourself to stay, you know,
Yeah.
and it's even more hard to kind of talk somebody else out of it. So if you can provide that for somebody else, like I don't know. It's really cool, man. I do appreciate it.
What I think is really bold is that you talk about it, because I know a lot of people go through it and they don't even want to talk about it, and they especially like don't want to put it into their music. So I think it's really brave to put it all out there for everybody to see.
Yeah, I
you
feel
know?
like it's good to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be vulnerable because when you could show your vulnerable side, I feel like it lets other people open up and then they can show their vulnerable sides, and it's healing. To be vulnerable it's healing. I feel like
Yeah.
And I think, when you put yourself out there, people can relate too. Like some people, I think when they're going through it, they think like, I'm the only one who feels like this, like nobody understands. So when you have art out there, showing that you're going through the same thing, people are like, wow, okay, I'm not the only one that's going through it.
Yeah, yeah. And I like what you said about being vulnerable, because it's one of those things that, like, you can't really be vulnerable. It's difficult to be vulnerable until somebody says that they experienced it first, you know? Like, so to be the first person to say something is always very terrifying, but you know, it allows other people to be like, "Hey, I've also been there," you know? Like
Yeah.
that's the situation that I've also experienced. I had somebody recently kind of come to me. I had been like, "Hey, yeah, I've been feeling suicidal." Like, "Oh yeah, me too." And they list off all the reasons why they were feeling like that. And I found out that that was something that they hadn't even opened up to people that they were close to about. So it really sometimes just takes you being the first person. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like people, you know, kind of like reached out to you for that reason and been like, "Hey, like, your music has saved me," you
Yeah.
know, like that's for that reason, you know, like you kind of get that immediate just kind of proof of concept that like what you're doing is helping not only you but other people.
I'm having like a proud self moment. Sorry.
No, you should. Yeah, absolutely,
It feels
absolutely.
good.
So I guess you know, going forward, you know, what are some shows that you're excited about? What are some projects you're excited about?
I saw your, yeah, you talk about it.
I'm
I
opening up
just looked.
for Nefta Pharaoh in Klamath Falls, Oregon. That's my hometown. Shout out G Bisbee for throwing that show and putting it on for the city. Nefta Pharaoh is from he's from the Bay, and he's a hyphy rapper. He gets everyone pumped, and I'm super excited to meet him. We're gonna do that one June 11th, and then after that, I have a Native American festival that I'm doing with Richie and tons of other like heavy hitting Native hip hop artists, and I'm really excited to meet all those people. It's they're gonna have like workshops, camping. They're gonna do a fashion show out there too. I
That's
think it's
super
a
cool.
3-day event, the 24th to the 26th of June in California, Concal, California. And then I just recently got put on a show with Sugar Free in Hillsboro, Oregon. So that one's gonna be September 9th. So I got us back to back. It feels good to
Staying
get back,
busy.
get back to doing shows, because when the pandemic hit, we were I did a show with Mercules in Eugene,
Okay.
and I was like super pumped. It was the biggest show I ever done.
Yeah.
Like, there was like 600 people there, and it was super exciting. And then everything just shut down. And I was just like,
Yeah.
what are we doing with our lives?
Everything's live streamed now.
Yeah,
From home.
right,
All
right.
the jokes.
We're actually gonna have you rap on the show right now. Your beats are right there. No, how did the pandemic kind of affect you musically? Did it made you feel like it made you more creative? Do you feel like you know, it kind of took it out of you where you're like, I need to hibernate and maybe I'll come back to this later?
I feel like both really. I feel like when the pandemic happened, it made me start drinking a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
and so that slowed me down on accomplishing like the goals that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was still writing a lot, but I wasn't doing anything with it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, the pandemic slowed me down. It made me depressed, and I started drinking. Sober now. Sober
Hey,
now.
congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
But yeah, it definitely slowed me down.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. How has sobriety affected your music? Is it something you kind of do with the intention of knowing that if you're doing this, that you aren't the person that you want to be, or you don't get to accomplish the things that you want to?
I guess so. Yeah. This keeps me kind of down in like a stagnant place where I just become depressed and don't want to fulfill what my goals are. So I'll just use it as an excuse, like, oh well, my life sucks, so I'm just gonna drink all day, you know.
My life's great. I'm gonna drink all day.
Yeah. So how long have you been sober for?
I've been sober for a week now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
that's
relapsed.
nice.
I relapsed a week ago. Been going through some things, and had 8 months sober before that. Relapsed. Now I'm back on. Kind of just setting goals to accomplish before I want to celebrate and maybe have a drink again someday.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like a forever thing, but I definitely want to keep control of it because in the past I've lost control a lot.
Yeah.
With
I
alcohol.
feel you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I just took 6 months off because, yeah, same thing. And I don't know if it's the same with everybody or like some people just have a problem with it, but I definitely feel you. And even if it's not forever, like just taking those 6 month, 8 month breaks can do wonders for your
Yeah.
life. And it's
Yeah.
a big accomplishment.
Well, and even just having that realistic expectation of just like, hey, I may want to celebrate, like that's something that like, I guess it's something I wish I had almost set, where it's just like, hey, there's something that I want to be able to, there's something that I want to be able to celebrate, because there are those really cool moments, there's, yeah, I don't know. I guess there's those really cool moments that I wish that I could just, enjoy in that sense and be able to still kind of keep that number, because I feel like the problem with sobriety is we set this imaginary number. We say, oh, I did it for 8 months. And then you go back a week and then you're like, oh, well, it's not 8 months. I might as well just keep doing it. But you did the time and then you restarted and felt good about that.
Yeah.
Like that's huge. So, yeah, I really appreciate your tenacity.
Definitely.
So I guess before we wrap this up, I'm just kind of curious. So there's some shows that you're excited about. Is there any projects and stuff that we can look forward to? And you asked me about my music, and that's holding me accountable. So I appreciate that. So I need to get some stuff. I want to have some more music for you. But when can I expect some more music from you?
I'm working on a track right now. It's supposed to be a surprise, but I'm just gonna tell everybody.
You heard it here first.
I'm working on a track.
Did it.
I recently dropped a track with Chris Calico, where we're gonna do another one with my buddy G Bisbee from Klamath. We're working on a track. It's called Throwaway. It's kind of just a more hyphy type song, like funny lyrics and things like that. But that's my next project coming out is that Throwaway, featuring Chris Calico. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay. I'm gonna fix it.
And I'm kind of just working on putting the album together. The biggest thing is I'm just trying to find out how to correlate all these different songs because all my songs have different vibes.
Right.
So I'm trying to bring it together and
Figure out,
give it the right name for it to match everything,
Yeah, well, just matching the right energy, where it's like, maybe this is a party song, maybe this is a, maybe this is a sadder song, maybe this is like a political song, just trying to find almost the rhythm of that, it's like making a song is already difficult enough, but being able to, I guess, properly just stagger them throughout an album like that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it sounds like you have the basis for the music that you like, the people that you want to have on it, and the stories you want to tell.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get you on one too. We
All
gotta
right.
work on something.
Let's do
Look
it.
for me and Zane. We're coming out with the song.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. Two things you heard here first. One of them I heard first. But yeah, looking forward to it.
I'll be
Looking
making the
forward-
beat for that.
Absolutely,
I'll be
dude. Oh, it's gonna be fire.
We're gonna have a session right after this.
Yep, absolutely. Well, dope. Awesome. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much
thank
for
you for having
joining
us
us.
on.
Thank you. You guys can find my music on YouTube. Just look up Wassla, Wassla. If you subscribe, that would help me out a lot. You follow me on Instagram, Wassla Music, spelled the same way, Wassla. Thank you guys for
And
having
on
me on the show.
Facebook too. right?
Facebook,
That's where I found
Stephen
you.
Allen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Thank you,
then,
guys.
and then Spotify. We can find you on Spotify.
You
as
find me
well.
on Spotify, any platform, any music platform.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Well, dope.
Well, this has been another episode of Off the Cuff with Des and Zane. I'm Carissa Des.
I am Zane Thomas.
And this is our special guest.
Wassla.
Please
Shabuzi.
give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, and you can watch us every Sunday live on Twitch.
Absolutely. Well, that's everything. Pew pew.
That's a wrap.
Awesome.
Thank you
Peace
guys
on
for having me.
donuts.
Sweet.
So you had talked about doing a live performance.